Hello, I'm the Resolute Cartographer, and this is the 29th video of my Fallout 76 post-Wastelanders main quest series. In the last two videos, we investigated Harper's Ferry, checking out the armory and the rest of the town, learning a little bit about the lore of the place. In this video, we're going to go ahead and head to Charleston to go visit Sam Blackwell's office and load the master holotape into Sam's terminal. So, let's head over the mountains, all the way out to the west, to the Charleston Capitol building. Alright, here we are in Charleston. Now, man, the Capitol building is basically constantly overrun with a whole lot of feral ghouls. Let me see what I can do here about my lack of health. Okay. Now we're gonna try to get into this thing as safely as we can, but it's not gonna be easy because, again, this is like feral ghoul capital of the world for some reason. The Capitol building actually used to be one solid interior when the game originally launched. Now it's the DMV side and the courtroom side. We visited the courtroom side already when we came by to get the thing that we needed off of Rosalind's body for the raiders. Now we're going to go in the DMV side. We'll also have to come back here later when we're attempting to get into Fort Defiance, when we have to basically work through the DMV in order to get our military ID. Okay, here we go. Okay, so there are going to be a lot of feral ghouls in here. Let's see. Can't see any yet, neither can Vats. Yeah, I can already hear them though. There they are. Jeez. Would have been lovely if that last one had hit ahead. Yeah, they can open doors, but that buys me a second to reload. There we go. It's got some 10 mil ammo on him. Hopefully I can get up to level 25 in this video and make use of that pistol that I got in the last video. Or the one before, I can't remember which one's which. Oh, there's the other one. He is kind of a dope, though. And being a feral ghoul, the jitteriness makes it impossible to hit him. So there we go. But those are just the first of the feral ghouls, many to come. Okay, there's one right there. There's another one. You can see both of them were ready to attack us as soon as they could. Oh, can hear more. Let's go in here. There's another one. Jeez. Okay, there's two more. Alright, so the Registrar Terminal actually used to be over on the courthouse side of the building. They moved it over here when they split the area up. So let's take a look at this. Get a little bit of information about the Charleston Provisional Government here. Christmas rations. From December 13th, 2082. As you have likely seen by now, the Provisional Council has foolishly voted to allow for a Christmas celebration this year. Do not allow anyone without a valid idea to sign up for this additional ration dispersal. No exceptions. You are advised to be on the lookout for forgeries and impersonators attempting to get double rations. A full audit will be performed next week, and any overages will be deducted from your own rations. Tanner Holbrook, Majority Leader, Charleston's Emergency Government. Tanner Holbrook is an ass, as we'll find out as we go through his terminal entries. Suspension of services. October 25th, 2077. So just 2 days after the bombs. By order of the Provisional Council, all vehicular registration and licensing services are hereby suspended until further notice. Staff is ordered to provide record support for first responders to aid the emergency relief efforts. These responders will be delivering rations of food and anti-radiation chems to those in rural areas and will require help in accessing and maintaining accurate records. You can see here, they're still called the first responders, not even really the responders just yet. This is Abigail Poole, the Speaker of the House for the Charleston Emergency Government. She's the more friendly one. Okay. Access central records and system error. We're going to have to go through a whole lot of terminals here. This might end up being 2 videos as well. We'll have to see. Okay, little coffee bar there. Coffee table. Little sitting area. Okay. Let's check out this room. Looks like a feral ghoul came out of here. So, when Charleston was flooded on Christmas Day 2082, it sent waves of water, but also debris crashing into the places like this. The Capitol got a pretty good brunt of the waves coming in at it, but it managed to stay upright. But there is plenty of debris coming in through the windows and within the structure itself. And you can still see the Christmas lights up from it being decorated for Christmas 2082. It's really the first Christmas they were celebrating. It was attacked. They were attacked by Rosalind Jeffries the day before Christmas. They repelled her attack, taking many casualties. Captured her in the process. David Thorpe, as we learned earlier, was informed that she was killed. Jeez, come on. There we go. David Thorpe, the head of the Cutthroats, was informed that she was killed. He was her boyfriend. And distraught, he used one of the mini nukes they'd stolen from the Brotherhood of Steel, or at least that the Blackwater Bandits had stolen from the Brotherhood of Steel. And they traded to the Cutthroats for a case of drugs. He used one of those to blow up the dam. Special notice. Special holiday notice from December 12, 2082. After deliberation by the voting members of the Provisional Council, it is our great pleasure to announce that we will be holding a Christmas celebration. Holiday festivities shall include holiday lights displayed in the Capitol building, a holiday gift drive providing each child under the age of 12 with a gift at no charge, extra dispensation of food rations for those who wish to celebrate with their families, a holiday breakfast to be served in the Capitol food court. We feel that it is important to remember our traditions and values in these trying times. Any donation should be directed to the Office of the Bursar, and those willing to help with delivery should speak with Officer Larkin of the responders. Abigail Poole, Speaker of the House, Charleston Emergency Government. Officer Larkin there being Melody Larkin. We heard about her back during the Fire Breathers quests. She was the head of the Fire Breathers, in fact. Okay, let's see. More debris. And we can look up into the Capitol Dome there. Okay, gonna be more feral ghouls as we go through here. Okay, so here's the governor's office. Let's see if there's... Yep, I think this is the same notice. Yep, okay. So this is Governor Evans' office. He's got his little secretarial area out here. We don't really know too much about Governor Evans. We do have this image of him right here. So that is the former governor of West Virginia right there. He seems to have disappeared around the time of the bombs, and I'm guessing we'll probably hear more about him at some point, but it's probably going to be a while. Is this the same notice? Yep. Okay. So oddly enough, they left his office intact. I don't really know why, but this is still his terminal. He's got his notes in here and stuff like that. It doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. Anyway, Hornrat Industrial Correspondence. It's nice that it is here because it means we can read about it. Governor Evans, I thought we had a clear understanding that you would keep the wolves from our doors. The damages to our home and property are extensive, not to mention the emotional distress at our duly elected officials being unable to maintain public safety. We will be having a long talk with our accounting department over the coming weeks, and it would be a shame if we had to look at making cuts to public contributions or reallocating those funds to areas that would better protect our interests. Hoping not to be disappointed further, Penelope Hornwright, Hornwright Industrial. This is in relations to the riots taking place in southern Appalachia that took place in October of 2077. We'll take a quick look at the map. We talked about this a little bit before. So, at the test site, which doesn't appear on the map, it's somewhere down here, AMS, Atomic Mining Services, was attempting to create ultrasites, so they were dropping nukes in the ground and blowing them up. Well, turns out they thought they'd failed. An entire spike of ultrasite went directly from the test site into the city of Welch, erupting out of the ground, destroying the city, and then AMS decided to claim that they had the right to the area because it was their mineral that had come up out of the ground. So they started trying to seize homes. And the combination of the destruction of their homes, the theft of their property, and the fact that these people were putting miners out of work and the entire town was basically out of work at this point, led to a riot that spread across the entire southern half of Appalachia. And that's when they ended up also blowing up the this unfinished mega mansion up here, and they also took over the Rockhound on Mount Blair. So it was a big thing. I think it was a course of a week or two that this all took place in. They had been planning, if they'd succeeded here, to then go after AMS here in Watauga, but that never actually came to pass because the National Guard put them all down. And that was Governor Evans' doing. We also have a note here, letter from the President. Governor Evans, the President and Secretary of Defense would like to extend their thanks for your continued support of our armed forces. Keeping the supply of steel and coal and other materials vital to the war effort flowing smoothly is the responsibility of every freedom-loving American, and the liberation of Anchorage would not have been possible without them. Several cabinet members have expressed admiration for the economic policies you put in place that have allowed for such leaps in automation and expediency with which you have quelled dissent. We would like to extend a formal invitation to you, as well as other political and industrial leaders from the region, to a summit that is being organized to discuss how technology can be spread. Sincerely, D. something, Office of the President. So, we don't actually know who the President was. We're never actually given a full name of it here. But what he's specifically referring to in quelling the labor disputes and keeping the steel and coal flowing, like I said before, Southern Appalachia, he quelled the riots down here. In Northern Appalachia, people were not happy when Grafton Steel was doing what they were doing, polluting the entire region and working people to death to where they were even falling into vats of molten steel. But he used the National Guard to keep the plant open and to keep workers moving in and producing steel for the American war effort. And that's what that was about there. Okay, anything over here? No. So let's go ahead and read the terminal. Capital Mail Relay. Can't reach DC. Actually, I think that's the newest one, so let's go to the oldest one. Yes. So, Grafton Steel, June 12th, 2077, from Abigail Poole. Grafton Steel. What are you thinking? You can't let them keep operating that mill. Have you seen what's coming out of there? You are going to kill any chance at tourism in the Northern Valley with that ash. Now they don't have manufacturing or tourism. If you thought the worker rights would be bad before, they're going to be out there thick as fleas on a dog's back. Fix this. Poole. So this calls into question some of the lore, and I think there's a little bit of a contradiction taking place here. And so there's basically two stories of what's going on with the Grafton Steel plant. One of them is that it was sabotaged on the day of the bombs by Darius Engler, a chemist who worked for Grafton Steel, until his brother fell into a vat of molten steel, like I said before, and so he decided to sabotage the plant. He goes in on the day of the bombs, adds a chemical additive to the plant so that it starts spewing that ash, poisoning the entire valley. The other story is that sometime back in June, as you can see here, the plant started spilling that ash across the valley. And then what happened was the plant didn't shut down. They continued to operate despite the fact that there was some sort of chemical additive that had destroyed the plant and was making it produce this ash along with the steel. So I don't really know which one to go with. I've created a lore video on Darius Engler. I'll link that here. But it's, again, a little bit of contradictory lore. Next up, another mayor in Watauga. From September 23rd, 2077, Sender M. Jessup, another mayor in Watauga. The new mayor of Watauga called while you were out. No, I didn't get the name. I stopped bothering to remember them at this point. This one called asking for you to not cancel the order to send the National Guard to evict the squatters at Bogtown. That last mayor was an idiot, and we need to get those filthy beggars away from our town. Maggie. Okay, so multiple things here. The reason why it's a new mayor of Watauga, and they've stopped trying to get the names, the mayors of Watauga were given a random length term as a way to try to avoid corruption issues. It's one of those things where it's like you can't promise someone influence if you don't know if that person's going to be in office the next week. So that was the whole idea, but they had mayors that were there for months. They had mayors that were in office for hours. And they were automatically chosen at random by the city's computer. Now, when they're talking about evicting the squatters of Bogtown, Watauga was ridiculously expensive to live in. So, most of the people that lived outside of Watauga, out in that part of the country, lived in places like Bogtown, which were sinking into the earth thanks to the efforts of Atomic Mining Services at conducting underground mining and with the nukes. And so it was actually shaking the ground, buildings were sinking in, the entire town was effectively condemned. The people were just living there, trying to eke out a living in this crap little town out there. I've got multiple lore videos on these things. I'll just see if I can't link to the entire playlist right here. So, next up, Treasury called. From October 12th, 2077. Sir, the treasurer called and said she needs to talk to you about some inconsistencies they're seeing between the budget allocations and expenditure reports. It looks like you should have a couple open times on Wednesday. Should I pencil something in? Maggie. So, this looks to me like the mayor was potentially corrupt. Or not the mayor, sorry, the governor was potentially corrupt. And that he was using state funds for his own purposes. I mean, that's the only thing I can really get from that. Either that or it's just a standard meeting with some sort of inconsistencies caused by some sort of accounting error, but that doesn't seem like why they would have that email there. Can't reach DC. From October 28th, 2077, from Tanner Holbrook, can't reach DC. Governor Evans, where the hell are you? The bombs have fallen, there's panic in the streets, and no one in your staff has any idea if you're in Charleston or not. The government is in shambles, that dimwit Poole is running around acting like she's in charge of the provisional government, and our first responders are barely even pretending to follow our orders. If you slink back in here, at least have the decency to turn over executive authority before you go running off. Holbrook. As I mentioned before, no one knows where the governor is. And, I mean, I don't know if we're really ever going to find out. I'm hoping we do. It's one of those currently unsolved mysteries in the lore of Fallout 76. Personal logs. Travel schedule. Connection to mainframe could not be established. Campaign contributions. Same. And state budget allocation. Again, same issue. Okay. Well, there's another funny little note over here. So we got this bathroom, his personal bathroom here. But if we come through here, we get to the press office. And you can see this is where he would give his speeches, and there's his one note to self. Lie. I've always liked that. There's a note here, too. It rolled Charleston Herald. We'll read that in just a second once I take care of the feral ghouls that are trying to kill us. Or the feral ghoul that's trying to kill us right here. Jeez, my aim. Didn't help that it's dark. And this thing just has iron sights on it, but, okay. There we go. Okay. Actually, I think that's... The Herald supports Gwen Carter. We've read that before, so we can leave that behind. That was back in the video when we were doing the agility test for the fire breathers. Let's see, what about... Okay, so just more debris there. This hallway used to link to the courtrooms, again, before they separated the two. Okay, so coming in here. A lot of debris coming in. Sometimes you'll also get the feral ghouls climbing through the windows. So it's pretty creepy. Oh. Another feral ghoul there. Bathrooms. Okay, first aid kit. With a few nice little things in it. Again, more debris, this time an entire truck. Okay, and we're back in the dome. Alright, so we're done on the first floor. So let's head up to the next floor. Now, there are multiple ways up. There's also a basement, but we're going to go to that later anyway. So we can either go up this ramp, or there's a staircase back over there. So we're going to go up this ramp, given that we're already over here. And this ramp, of course, was originally the floor above. Now you can see the sigil here left over by the cutthroats. Jeez. Oh, crap. Jeez. You gotta be kidding me. That was ridiculous. Like, I know my own aim is crap, but that VATS was at like 93% for half of those shots that missed. Okay, another stim pack, I think. Jeez. Okay. Man. Really am hoping I get to level 25 soon. Need to be able to use that 10mm pistol. Oh, Ichor sack. That's a nice piece of junk. Okay, what else we got up here? Right away. Broken out floor. A couple of destroyed offices here. Oh. Uh-oh. Crap! I'm only down to now 12 rounds with a shotgun. I thought I had way more than that. I've always got hundreds of rounds of shotgun ammo. Apparently not anymore. Okay. Well, this is going to be interesting. Anyway, come in here. We got some lore in this little office. Along with that, a lot of great junk. Typewriters, always a good piece of junk. And right here we have voting advertisement.
Are you tired of taxes going to incompetent government bureaucrats? Come out on November 2nd and cast your vote in favor of Ballot Measure 6, the Appalachian Prosperity Act. Automate Appalachian government and give the boot to bureaucracy. This ad paid for by the Citizens for Automation Fund.
Yep, that's all about, well, like I said, the APA. Replacing the entire state government with automation. Heavily supported by Daniel Hornwright, who stood to make a fortune. Oh my god. Some of these rounds need to hit, okay? If there's a 70% chance and it misses twice in a row, that's ridiculous. Okay, here we go. Shotgun shells, and I picked up a shotgun I didn't intend to, so I'm going to drop that, unless it's maybe better than the current one I'm using. And I can't use it yet. Oh man. Let's just drop it. I'm sure. Well, if I can't find one, I can make one. I got gun nut, at least a couple points in it, I think. Okay, let's head up. So, as you saw, there was the cutthroat sigil outside this room, and that is related to the fact that after the flood, the cutthroats came in and took over the ruins and executed the remaining responders who had not yet fled. Nope. We're not actually fully down on the floor below, but oh, okay. There's another one. Okay, well that's nice. A lot of good stuff on that one. Okay, so I think this is Ella Ames or Tanner? Yes, that's not Ella Ames. Sorry. Speaker Poole's office. And along with that, we have this other unnamed senator or representative's office. Apparently, they died in here holding their toy spaceship. Okay, now if we come over here, this is Sam Blackwell's office. Okay, so you can see that it's been heavily graffitied. People are not happy with the fact that he was a member of the Free States, and you got the little Free State sigil up there. Official notice. By order of the Office of the Governor, this office is to remain closed until after investigation of former Senator Sam Blackwell and special election to fill the vacancy has been completed. Anyone found trespassing in this office without authorization will be subject to charges for interfering with a federal investigation. Anyone found defacing this office will be prosecuted for destruction of government property. Until further notice, any inquiries about Sam Blackwell or the special election should be directed to the Office of the Governor. Please remember to vote in support of the Appalachian Prosperity Act. Governor Evans. Good Lord. So he's even putting that in an official memo. I'm sure that's violating some law. Okay. So if we come in here, we got Sam Blackwell's console there. And if he apparently had a mine for some reason back there. And then I think... No, I thought there was something in his trash can, but no. It's just the mine over there. That's funny to me. This package for Sam Blackwell is related to the Grafton Pawn Shop. We're going to leave that. And then we have purified water. If you want to watch my video on this specific stuff, I'll link that here. Okay, we're not going to be able to use this just yet, as I'll show you. This terminal is on security lockdown. See security for access. G26 security clearance required. Violators will be prosecuted at the highest level. And enter security override. Oops, password is incorrect. Okay, so we have to go and basically do tech support on this thing. This office right here got a nice hot dog that's been sitting here for the past 20 years or so. Delicious. And a cooking station with a typewriter. We can come around here and get into Abigail Poole's office and read about some of her stuff. Also listen to her holotape here. Christmas plans.
Oh, sit down, Tanner. I swear you could talk the bark off a tree.
Stuff it, Abigail. What is this nonsense about throwing a Christmas party? We're already rationing supplies. We have another winter like '78.
Our people need this. They've been struggling on for years through the war, radiation, mutants, and raiders. They need something normal. Something to give them hope that things will be better.
We don't have the supplies. We need to keep them for the war effort. And waiting to hold the town hall till I was out meeting those Brotherhood rebels? It's beyond deceitful.
You think I'm some dumb hick, just on account of the fact that you abandon your people and your accent. I know that you're trying to sway the vote next spring by letting your friends hoard food. I checked the ledgers. Don't do in the dark what you don't want brought out in the light, Tanner.
What? You infuriate.
If you're fixing to have a fit, best sit down before you bite your tongue clean off. Wouldn't want to ruin my carpet. It's all gonna be donated food, and we'll only keep the lights on for a couple hours. And if you're sweet, I might even let you wear the Santa suit.
I will never.
You forgot your Christmas present! It's bourbon! To remind you of where you come from. Good. Melody deserves this more anyway.
Okay. Looks to me like she walked with a cane here. Like I said, Tanner Holbrook was an ass. And he was constantly doing behind-the-scenes machinations to try to seize power. Pools Terminal. Capital Mail Relay. Morgantown. Actually, this isn't over, I think is the older one. October 29th, 2077, from Tanner Holbrook. This isn't over. You know damn well that with Majority Leader Fortune missing, the Majority Whip, which would be me, would ascend to the leader, and then with Governor Evans also missing, to the governorship. Your claim as Speaker of the House does not let you override the majority party. We need unity, and the party that has the majority in the state will control the executive office once we reestablish elections when this war is over. This provisional council is a farce. Holbrook. So, this was, again, right after the bombs, and he was still like this like 5 years later. He was ridiculous. Morgantown. From March 29th, 2078. From Melody Larkin. I need you to bring the situation at Morgantown to the council. Chief Mayfield opened fire on students and has imposed a mandatory curfew. I'm not saying that there hasn't been looting, but they're just kids, Abigail. I've tried to talk to him, but he won't see reason, and if I move on him, it risks splitting off those responders who are in law enforcement. Most of them are good folks, but there are always a couple of foxes in the henhouse. I know it'll put you and Holbrook at odds again, but we need something to quell the situation, and quick. Melody. So I talked about this a little bit in my Morgantown lore video, which is like one of my very first ones. And it's a weird little situation here. The students were left behind at VTU up in Morgantown. They basically ended up taking over the town for some reason. And I mean, it is a college town, so you get a lot of students, but at the same time, I mean, it's the question of what happened to the rest of the citizens there. Anyway, it all devolved into the house wars. We had the street house and the roof house, and they were fighting over radiation meds rather than moving on to less radiation-dosed areas. I don't really know why. Anyway, read about Mayfield here and not really anywhere else. He seems to have kind of just disappeared from the whole situation. Anyway. Personal logs, my guess is this is probably... Oh, this one actually does have some stuff. He thinks he's so smart. That Snake Tanner thinks he's so smart. As if I wouldn't find out about his schemes. If he ever took the time to get to know who he works with, he'd know that Tom is married to my cousin. He came to me straight away about their little deal. I told Tom to keep me informed if anything too malicious started up. Don't do in the dark what you don't want brought into the light, Holbrook. It's like a sideshow. Went out with some of the responders to see what's been all the fuss with the wildlife lately. 2-headed deer, 3-headed possums, and that squirrel looked like a demon out of hell. I may never eat squirrel pie again. That could have gone better. The responders sent an envoy to the ski resort to try to negotiate a peace treaty. I was against it, but they've been listening to my advice less and less these days. Giving those outsiders aid was one thing before they've been raiding, and they may have seemed to be on the run, but you don't walk into the hog pen at feeding time. So yeah, that envoy did go very poorly. A little bit of story there. The raiders of the Pleasant Valley Ski Resort were, of course, not always raiders. They started out as just tourists. We went over this a little bit with the raider quests, but they sent a group of envoys down here, headed up by Harlan McClintock. the husband of Maggie McClintock. They came down here searching for aid in the fall of 2077. There already was not enough aid to go around Charleston as it was, so they came back empty-handed. David Thorpe killed him, took control, and when the responders sent a group of envoys up there the following spring, they killed the envoys. So, let's see. Alright, so we still have to figure out Sam Blackwell's terminal. But there's also Tanner Holbrook's computer to look into. So let's go ahead and do that. Gonna be more feral ghouls over here as well. That'll do it for part 1. See you in part 2.